G'day legends, and it's Friday in Australia. We are a few days before UFC 322, and I love this fight card so much. Not because of just JDM versus Islam Makhachev, or because of Valentina Shevchenko versus Weili Zhang, but because there are so many genuinely 50-50 fights on the main card. I've got to finalize my picks tonight on the live stream, and when I look at the main card, you got Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Saint-Denis just had this fight against Renato Moicano, and Renato Moicano just kicked the living piss out of BSD. 50-50 fight, right? But then you look at Benoit Saint-Denis' last fight and you're like, there is no way the person that was moving like they are stuck in mud is going to get beaten up by the younger man who just comes like a raging bull out of a tornado while the tornado is being set on fire. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Sean Brady has been on a tear. Is it too much activity? Look at the way we were just certain that RDR was going to get it done over Brendan Allen, and then it was just too many fights during the year. Michael Morales has got that Ecuadorian takedown defense. He's got that wrestling in his back pocket. How is Sean Brady going to go when he's getting pressured on the feet? Can you back a man that has been finished by Bilal Muhammad when he's in there against a striker? And then there is the point of today's video, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Now, if you've been on the live streams, you've heard me talk about this fight back and forth so many times, but I wanted to make this video specifically because this is one of the truly most intriguing fights to me. This isn't a fight about whether this chiseled Adonis of a man I mean, the bloke is shredded. But this isn't one of those fights where can this guy beat Carlos Prates? Is he a good enough fighter to beat Carlos Prates? This isn't one of those kind of fights. Like, quite frankly, the skill conversation does not come into this, right? What do I mean by that? I mean, there are fights where Khamzat Chimaev has been calling out Alex Pereira, and Alex Pereira wants to fight Khamzat Chimaev in a grappling fight, which I think is a great idea for Alex Pereira. You get to feel Khamzat Chimaev first before anything actually happens in MMA, and then also you get to test out your wrestling in a relatively injury-free way before going on and pushing for John Jones, who is going to test you in your wrestling. And when it does come to the MMA version of that fight, Khamzat Chimaev versus Alex Pereira, it is fair to assume that Khamzat Chimaev could steamroll Alex Pereira when it comes to the wrestling. Like, the question is, does Alex Pereira possess the skills necessary to beat or defend against Khamzat Chimaev? Very similar to Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. He had all the willpower in the world. It doesn't matter how many times he could think of his coach tasering him in the ass. He just did not possess the skill to be able to stand up against Khamzat Chimaev. He was simply just smudged out completely. Khamzat Chimaev was a tidal wave of wrestling skill. And we've seen skill gaps like this before. You know, one of the most famous ones for me is Sean O'Malley versus Chris Moutinho. That Chris Moutinho simply did not have the skill to defend himself against a striker like Sean O'Malley. But this matchup here, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates, I find it so intriguing because I'm not wondering about the skill of Leon Edwards. I'm not even wondering about the skill of Carlos Prates either. I believe that Leon Edwards has all the skill in the world to beat Carlos Prates. In fact, that seems like it makes total sense to me. We just saw Carlos Prates lose to Leon Edwards. Ian Gary. But really, they're almost the exact same type of fighter. You know, like, oh, Leon Edwards has got the takedowns. Leon Edwards can impose his will in the grappling as well. So can Ian Gary. We saw Ian Gary do phenomenally good against MVP, even towards the last rounds of the Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. The rangy striking of Leon Edwards is this same, very similar rangy striking of Ian Gary. Some people would say, yeah, but Ian Gary's got that knockout power. Maybe back in the day before he went vegan, but have we seen Ian Gary's knockout power in the last 3 or 4 years? No, we haven't. Leon Edwards and Ian Gary are very similar fighters. And Carlos Prates just proved to us that Leon Edwards is going to win this fight. But I don't think that Leon Edwards is going to win this fight. This is not a matter of skill. This is what's going on in Leon Edwards' head. And I don't know if Leon Edwards, I grew up in a zinc roof bra, look at me now. I don't know if Leon Edwards, after feeling that much emotion and being so high and the champion of the world, is still that guy. I think that you are only able to peak, really peak, in those do or die moments a few times in your life. And it takes so much to get there and to build yourself up to be that kind of a person that it's very hard to re-energize and go and do it again. Now, impossible? No, not impossible at all, but very, very hard to do. And this is what makes it even more intriguing, because we're talking about someone who has done it before. And then when it comes to the MMA fan base, Leon Edwards is that quintessential do not give up on yourself guy for a lot of the MMA fan base. I mean, we have the snippet of John Anik, but that is not the cloth of which this man is cut. Head kick. Leon Edwards is the guy who Joe Rogan is saying, I think Leon will just be proud of himself that he at least got to the end of the fight against Kamaru Usman. And Leon still pulled it out of the fire to get it done. And then not a few years later, the entire MMA community is sitting here going, this guy's cooked. This guy's cooked. This guy doesn't have it anymore. That's still the same guy. It's so weird watching this. I guess it's because, if you listen to the channel so much, you'll hear me talk about the fight in the fighter recaps. And I genuinely do love that part of our sport so fucking much. The Glover Teixeira story. Now, any Yuri fight where Yuri comes back in the third round, GM3. I love these stories. I love the year of the Unk. And now we've got Leon Edwards, grew up in a zinc roof, headshot dead. That is not the cloth from which he is cut. And I can't see a more defeated man standing in front of me. It doesn't matter how flashy all of this... Why do I keep clicking on the wrong one? It doesn't matter how flashy all of this is. Doesn't matter how flashy all of this is. Doesn't matter how pretty the kickboxing is. He is in his own head. And the world has given up on him. And he has got to prove it to us that he is still him. I mean, look at the line. Leon Edwards is a heavy underdog here. $2.50 is decent underdog money. With, all right, $3 or $4 is heavy. But Leon Edwards, like Carlos Prates just lost to Ian Gary. Leon Edwards took Bilal Muhammad down. Leon Edwards was raining down elbows on Bilal Muhammad. Leon Edwards has the skill to beat Carlos Prates. He can beat Carlos Prates. And yet, so many people just believe that he won't. If you're a gambler, you're building parlays, you should be having a sprinkle on Leon Edwards. You really should. You should have a sprinkle on the fight going the distance and Leon Edwards by points. That is a very real outcome. That's nearly a $4 outcome. Leon Edwards' decision. That's nearly a $4 outcome. That's so wildly achievable to me if Leon simply wants it to be. That's the thing. Like, if he Drickus can't defend himself against Hamzat. Chris Matinho cannot defend himself against Sean O'Malley. If I am locked in an elevator with John Jones in this face, I am fucked. There's nothing I can do. But Leon can just decide to win this fight, and so many people have just decided that he simply fucking won't. And not to spoil the picks for tonight's live stream, but I'm one of them. I don't think Leon is going to win this fight, no matter what the skill set said. We don't need MMA Che for this fight breakdown. We don't need him. Sorry, bruh, but take this fight off. MMA Che with these beautiful, specific breakdowns of the fights, you're kind of fucking useless on this one, brother. But this is one of the many reasons why UFC 322 is probably my favorite fight card of the year. As someone who was a massive Ilia Topuria fan going into this year, that was a huge moment for us to beat Charles Oliveira. I'm obviously a massive JDM and Alexander Volkanovski fan. G'day, Australian, obviously. But it's not just the fact that we've got JDM finally getting Volk's revenge. It's that the card, the pay-per-view, is littered with 50-50 fights. And I love 50-50 fights so much. It gets me so fucking hyped. Boys, it's Friday. There's a few days left. This is the last video for the week. There will be a meme video on Saturday. It's recorded, ready to go. I could not be more amped for UFC 322. I will be live during the entire pay-per-view. Come and say g'day during it, and that is that. If this is your first time here, welcome. I make MMA videos all the bloody time. If you want to know when a new video drops and you want to know when I go live, hit that notification bell and that subscription button down there. Let me know down in the comments. percentage chance of Leon deciding that he wants to win this fight? Let me know about it down there in the comments. If you can't be bothered commenting anything, I don't blame you. Just hit that like button down there. And that's that. To all the supporters of the channel, the bloody legends, your names are up on the next slide. Until then, I hope you all have a great weekend, a great day. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.